Hi, I'm Orla, and this is Girl with a Microphone. Today is going to be a bit of a rough episode, I think. Gonna be talking a lot about being ill because I'm still ill. So that's been my main thing on my mind at the moment. So I thought I'd talk about it. I mean, I've talked about it a bit before, but might as well just talk about it again. But I'm gonna be like covering different parts of being ill and stuff, not just like, oh, I'm ill again, guys. But like, I made a video and it was like talking about, trying to deal with the pain and stuff, but this is gonna be slightly different. But yeah, Girl on a Microphone is my new little series where I just talk about whatever I want. So today, we'll see what I talk about, but I think it's mainly just gonna be how I've been feeling and yeah, being ill. I've just been struggling a lot with being ill. Unfortunately, there's not much I can do, but I just try and do my best, take my painkillers. Heat seems to help me a lot, so, like a little hot water bottle and heat packs and stuff, but it's just not going great on the health front. And yeah, it's something that I've never really experienced a lot in life. I mean, obviously I've been ill before, but I've never really had a chronic illness ever until recently. I got concussion as a kid. Had some like infections and stuff, and that's about it. I really don't get ill. I get migraines, but that's literally all that I ever get. But clearly, my health in the past year and a bit has been a lot different. So it's just been kind of a quick switch up, which has been the main issue for me. I think if I had dealt with illness a lot more when I was younger, I would be kind of used to this. But I was blessed with being very healthy, high pain tolerance, and literally never got ill. So even if I was ill, it usually wasn't that bad. So this is definitely not my usual self, which I think is what makes it more difficult. Obviously, if you've dealt with chronic illness since you were a child, I'm not trying to say that's not difficult. That's definitely extremely difficult. But obviously, because I've never dealt with this before, I've kind of went from like 0 to 100. I'm just struggling a lot with how do I live like this? Because I've never experienced it, and it's also at the stage, it's been a while, but I don't know my own capabilities. I don't know when I need to push myself and when I really just need to rest. So I'm just trying to find the balance at the moment. It's not really going well. I'm gonna be honest. I try and push myself a lot. So I usually push myself too much, and then I'm like bedridden for a week, which isn't healthy. Sometimes it'll be 2 weeks. So I'm really trying to understand myself and my body and all that good stuff. Yeah, that's just the main thing. I don't know, I just feel like being ill is a very lonely experience, especially with chronic illness. And I'm a very extroverted, a very social person, but I've definitely dealt with loneliness in the past. And not in like a disclusion kind of way. Like, I don't really ever feel like I've been discluded in my life. Like I said, I'm very extroverted, so I've always been good at like sort of speaking to people and making friends, but like, I don't know, there's always this kind of loneliness that I have sometimes. Obviously right now it's because I'm ill, but yeah, it's really hard, especially, when you're not feeling great, trying to maintain your friendships in life, can be difficult, even, when there's no issues. Sometimes you want to meet up with somebody and then you're too ill, or you go anyways and then it ends with you like throwing up in your bathroom or their bathroom, and it's just not a great experience. So yeah, like I said, I'm pretty sure in the last video, I just feel very isolated. Like I said, yeah, I'm very extroverted. I've got great friends and stuff, but the pain's very isolating. Um, and yeah, I've always felt lonely, but like I feel like, with other aspects of my life, there's always been a little of like loneliness or feeling a little misunderstood. But nothing fully like negative. If that makes sense, like it was, you know, not necessarily something that like I was crying over or anything. The feeling of being misunderstood, but it's definitely something that I have experienced in life. I'm very. I think the thing is I isolate myself a lot. Whether I'm not feeling well physically or mentally, like I know that when I'm not feeling well, I can't maintain friendships the best. And not in a argumentative or angry kind of way, but just like I'm a very high energy person, and everybody can read the room when I don't have energy or I'm clearly not happy to be there, even if they know it's not because of them or like because I don't like them. It's very obvious when I just need to go home. You know, I try my best to, not make it obvious, but especially when I'm in pain as well, like you can tell. You know, there's people outside my window. I swear I say this every time. There's some man running about. But no, so yeah, I don't know if that's making any sense, but even like, yeah, if I'm just in mental health, somebody's shouting, like, but yeah, even like just if my mental health's not good one week, I'm like, okay, like this weekend, I'm gonna stay in and I'm gonna like do a bunch of stuff for my education. I'm gonna like do something for me or something like that, and then like not speak to anybody or like try and not speak to people a lot, because a problem with me is socializing helps me mentally so much, but I also get so stressed out when like everybody's messaging me. Like if I'm not feeling well, especially physically, and like 5 people are trying to meet up with me, I just can't do it. And I don't usually get overwhelmed that much. Like I think I do emotionally sometimes, but like never really in a stress kind of way. Like obviously I do sometimes, but I'd say yeah, I get stressed, but I know how to cope with it, or the stress is good for me because it pushes me to, do stuff. Like, well, I'm stressed because I didn't do this essay, but then that's going to make me want to do the essay. But like, you know, I do struggle when like everybody's messaging me and I can't respond, or I don't respond straight away, and then everybody's like, why didn't you respond to me? And you know, it's a lot. Especially when it's stuff about plans that I can't go to, because I feel so bad being like, oh, I can't go to this, or I go to it and then like I clearly don't want to be there. Like it's just like such a shit experience. So I don't know, I'm just really trying to find a balance right now, and it's not working. Also just mainly due to the fact that I'm still working on diagnosis for a lot of the issues I have at the moment. They're all, like I said, they're all correlated to each other, but there's some that don't really make sense at the moment, especially the pain I'm in. By the looks of things, it's endometriosis, but like I said in the last episode, I'm having different doctors tell me different things. So, one of them seems to think it's endometriosis, the other one doesn't think it's anything. So, I mean, clearly it's something, but, I don't know what is going on. And I don't really think anybody else does either, which doesn't help. Because, yeah, like, that obviously the doctors are doing the best they can, but, they all seem to not really know, or at least there's not like a clear consensus. So that also doesn't help me with how I treat my symptoms, If I don't really know exactly what's wrong with me. Like, I know some things, but like, you know, I was told when I was at my ultrasound, you clearly have multiple things wrong with you. So I've been diagnosed with like one thing. And obviously, I don't want a heap of diagnoses, but I have been told that this is not one thing that I'm going to be diagnosed with. I was told that it was going to be like there's a few issues. So I really don't know what's happening, or what's going on. You know, especially because a lot of my symptoms and issues might just be because I've got so many things going on. You know, it might be just be my combination of PCOS with possible endometriosis, or there might be other issues. There might I really don't know at this point, and I don't want to speculate. Until I get the answers that I need. I don't want to be like, maybe I have this, maybe I have that, when like I don't know. So I'm one of those people that I'm like, okay, they've said this, but I'm gonna wait until I'm diagnosed with it. But my diagnosis for my other main issue has not come across yet. Like I said, one of them doesn't seem to think it's an issue. Then my other doctor is like very concerned about my pain levels, because it's affecting my daily life and stuff. So yeah, I really don't know what's going on. All I know is I'm in pain and it hurts a lot. So I've just been trying to obviously deal with my pain and try and get appointments so I can figure out what's wrong, especially because, like I said, I'm never ill. So my first thing when I'm in pain, I'm like, oh, I'll go away. So the video cut out, so I'm here now. It seems to be like a storage problem with my phone, so I don't know if I need a new phone or what. But no, so it's just obviously been quite difficult. And what I seem to find the hardest is just like in between appointments, or like when the GP doesn't really know what advice to give me, because they don't really know what's going on. They can only do the best they can, and then like, I obviously understand that, but when I'm in between appointments or in between, them trying to figure out what's going on, it's really hard to do things in everyday life, because if they don't know, I guess, what's going to make me better, then I really don't either. But also it's just been quite hard. And yeah, it's just kind of isolating for me. Which I feel like I've been saying that word quite a lot recently, but yeah, it's just been kind of an isolating experience. Which is nobody's fault, obviously, but you know, for me, the worst thing in the world is, my friends really want to see me or do something with me, and I just can't do it. Or I go and I really can't concentrate or have fun because of the pain I'm in, because that's not nice for me, but it's also not nice for my friends to see that. So then I isolate, but then isolating makes me upset and makes me feel like I can't do the things I used to, which I think it will get better, or at least I'll be able to handle it better. But right now, I really can't function the same way I used to, and I'm just really struggling with accepting that. So yeah, that's my main thing at the moment. Yeah. Um, and obviously I'm open about it and I talk about it, but every time my friends ask me how I am, I don't always want to be like, I'm doing terrible, I'm a very positive and like I feel like high energy person, most of the time. But obviously when I'm not feeling well, I'm not, and I don't feel like myself right now, basically, because I can't do the things I used to, and also I'm not myself. I'm not as positive as I once was. And this is definitely not the worst my life has ever been. Um, you know, not saying that for pity or anything, but I've definitely gone through worse. But something just so physically challenging is just something I've not really experienced. And yeah, it's just yeah, I feel bad. Not for myself, but yeah, for my friends and stuff, when they really try and accommodate for me, but I'm still in pain, or yeah, they try and help me, but yeah, they think that I'm getting better, and I think that I'm getting better, and then they ask me how I am, and I'm like, not great. And I don't know, it just concerns me that it might lead to me lying, like not like crazy lies, obviously, but just like being like, oh no, I'm all right, when I'm not. Also, this feels like very vulnerable to post on the internet, so I don't know if I'm gonna post this one. Um, but yeah, it's an odd feeling that I've never experienced before. Like obviously I've experienced being ill, but not to this level. Yeah, and it's just even when I have okay days, I'll go do what I need to do, and then, when I'm in my room and no one's there, and I'm in pain, and I can't take my painkillers because it's not been 4 hours yet. Um, I'm gonna be honest. Sometimes I'm just in my room crying, which is really embarrassing to admit, especially if I do post this. But unfortunately, it's the truth, and yeah, it's just something that I can't control. Obviously, I'm not saying that I can't do anything about it, but you know, when I've done everything I can on days and it's still not helping, it's just not a very positive feeling. And yeah, it just is a challenge and something that I've never experienced before, so I'm learning um, what to do. But yeah, I'm hoping that it'll get better, or at least I'll know fully what it is, so then I can accommodate for my needs and know what I need. But it's even just like stuff in my free time. Like obviously my education is my most important thing, so that's why I'm trying to figure out you know how to do it to my best ability while also resting and making sure that I'm okay. But also just my hobbies and stuff, like like making videos and stuff. I don't want to make videos all the time and be like, hey guys, I'm ill, or yeah, like complaining about how ill I am or complaining about life, because that's not the person I am. Of course, I think relatability is good, but I'm a positive person. That's not really, you know, who I am. If you relate to me because of this, I really appreciate that, and that's a great thing. But I don't want every single video be me seeming really depressed, basically. And it's just the same with my hobbies as well. I'm not really enjoying them the same because I'm not able to do them to the best of my ability. Same with socializing. I have to go home early or this or that, and I don't want it to seem like I don't care about my friends or I don't want to be there, because I want to be with them more than anything. I just can't, you know, always do the things that they want to do. And like I said, they're very accommodating for me, but that almost makes it worse because they're trying so hard to make sure that I'm able to do what I used to do with them and stuff. But sometimes I can't, and that's okay. But it's a weird feeling, for sure. Um, yeah, it's just a lot. You know, especially yeah, the isolation's what's getting me. So obviously the pain is really bad, but yeah, the pain and the isolation, you know, does not help, because obviously being in pain is going to make you upset, and then yeah, I'll not be able to do things, and then I'll feel bad about it, then I'll isolate, and then I'll feel even worse about that. Even if it's isolation I need, like time to rest, time to get my priorities straight, still feel bad. And yeah, I've got a lot of goals in my life, which you can probably tell. And I just want to make sure that I'm able to achieve them all. I feel like there's a bit of a stagnant part of my life at the moment. I've got so much that I've done, so much I want to do, but right now I really need to focus on the basics, but I don't want to do that. I just want to do everything. But unfortunately, you can't always do everything, which is something that I would never say usually. I feel like, obviously, literally, you can't do everything, but I'm a very positive person. Like have all the hobbies you want, have all the interests you want. Don't stick to one job if you don't want to do that. And that's still very true. But right now, my mental health, my physical health is just what I need to focus on, and nothing else. Um, but I really hate doing that. And yeah, it's just hard because yeah, I really don't feel like the person I am. And I think that doesn't help and makes me want to isolate more because I'm very deep into my identity, if that makes any sense. Like I know who I am. You know, I really understand myself and yeah, who I am as a person and what I want in life. So when I don't feel like myself, it's really difficult. Because yeah, I still know what I want, even though I don't really feel like myself. But then I start being concerned that I'm turning into a different person, or I never really knew who I was, which sounds so dumb, but I hope you understand what I mean. But also, you know, we change as people, and this might change me for better or for worse. So that's also something important to keep in mind. You know, is you know, it's hard because I'm so stuck in this identity of who I am, which is a good thing, I think. But at the same time, you know, I have to change right now to accommodate myself, to accommodate my needs. Um, but at the same time, I don't want to change myself too much, but I need to change some aspects of my life in order to feel the best. So I think it's just there's a lot of stagnancy and a lot of change that is needed. So you know, I don't like staying stagnant. So that already makes me not feel like myself. But at the same time, some things I don't know how to change, like well, with physical pain, and also yeah, it's just I don't want to be like, oh no, I can't go and do this, I can't go and do that because that's not who I am. But at the same time, sometimes I literally can't do it. Um, Sorry, I'm looking at my phone, but yeah, sometimes I literally can't do things. If I'm in pain 4 hours in the morning, yeah, I can take my painkillers, but once they wear off and I've still got hours until I can take the next one, obviously I'm not going to be functioning the same. I always, even when my mental and physical health is at its best, I always push myself, oftentimes too far. So I'm just scared that I might do that again. Yeah, I don't know. It's just a lot to deal with. And this isn't, yeah, like I said, this isn't supposed to be like a pity kind of thing, because the last thing I want is pity. But because I'm not feeling well, it's what's on my mind the most. It's what's playing on my mind. It's what's concerning me. So I thought I'd speak about it. But I'm just gonna try and sorry, I mentioned my face. I'm just trying to find that balance. And I feel like balance is hard for most people. You know, sometimes what you want and what you need are two different things. Usually for me they're the same thing, but right now I want to do all these things, but I need to rest or I need to focus. You know, if I need to focus on my education, that's great. But then I'll be like, okay, well, I'm focusing on my education. I also want to focus on my hobbies. I also want to do this and that, which is great. But sometimes I just need to go slow with it. You know, okay, so I'm up to date with my education, but I just need to get even more up to date. You know what I mean? I can't, you know, like for example, I love learning Polish, but you know, should I do a few more hours of college work or should I start doing some Polish? Probably not the Polish. I I love Poland. I love the language, but you know what I mean. If I'm really scared of you know, um, not being caught up at college, then maybe I should focus on that. You know, I hope that's making sense. You know, I guess priorities and stuff. And yeah, I think what doesn't help is I'm a big people pleaser. If somebody wants to go do something with me, I'm like, yeah, sure. Or, yeah, they want to meet up with me. I really struggle with being like, actually, I'm not feeling well. Um, because, yeah, I just, like I said, I'm very social. So I do enjoy seeing people. And I am such a big people pleaser, unfortunately. I figured that out a lot through therapy. It's not always that I need the validation. Obviously, I'm very confident in myself and I don't feel like I need validation from other people, but I do struggle with saying no to people sometimes. So obviously when it's these people that I really care about and they really want to see me and I really want to see them, and then I'm not feeling well, especially if it's like last minute, like on the day. Like I wake up in the morning and I just know that I'm not going to be able to get out of bed. It feels so bad to be like, actually, no, I don't want to see you, you know? But yeah, it's just, I feel like I'm going in circles when speaking about this, but it's just really been what's on my mind. It's my biggest struggle at the moment. And yeah, it's just this weird stagnant period between my appointments or anything to do with my health where, you know, the medical professionals can't help me. I can't help me really. Apart from, yeah, hoping that doing things for my mental health and, you know, having a, oh shit, you can't see it, having a hot water bottle and, you know, taking painkillers, that's all I can do. And it just feels like I'm permanently ill. I mean, well, I'm in chronic pain, but you know what I mean? Like I said, I've never really dealt with chronic illness, so it just feels like when you were like 7 years old and you were like really ill, and you're like off school for like a few days, but that forever. And there's not the, oh yeah, I'm off school and I can, you know, do whatever. It's, and I can, you know, watch all the films I want, or which I am actually doing. I'm watching a lot of films and TV, obviously, but like, you know what I mean? It's not like, oh, you know, I can watch TV for like 5 hours a day and my mom's not gonna complain. Like, it's, I feel like being ill as a child, obviously not like seriously ill, but like, you know, just having a cold and stuff, I feel like it's very different as a child, you know. At least what I'd say is my perception of illness as a child was a lot different to my perception now. You know, because, oh, you're off school and all that. But I also did not, like, I also hate being ill. So it's kind of this weird mash of like, because also I loved school as a kid, so like, it was like, school's a big escape for me as a child. So like, it's like, oh, I can watch TV for like hours today. But then also I hate being ill and I want to be back at school. So it's kind of like that just now. But yeah, I just feel like when you're ill as a child, usually obviously your parents know what to do, or there's somebody who, like, at least for the illnesses I had as a child, it was very straightforward. So this complicated, confusing situation for me is something that, yeah, I'm not used to, and it's going to take time. And, you know, the thing is I really hate talking about it, which is crazy because I'm making a whole video about it. But it's, the thing is, I don't want to try and speak to people or make videos when I'm supposed to be really happy or like something I really care about, like writing, for example. I don't want to talk about how happy I'm about my writing project when I don't seem happy, or I don't look happy, or I'm not acting happy because I'm not happy because I'm having a really shit day. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't want to, as much as I hate feeling this way and I hate telling people I feel this way and showing it, at the same time, I don't want to be fake and I don't want to lie and I don't want to, you know, I'm always truthful and I'm always honest. But when it comes to my feelings or my mental health, a lot of the times I will lie, or I'll, oh yeah, like health wise, I love to you know, I love to think that I'm so strong and, you know, not that, you know, having these issues doesn't makes you not strong, but for me, you know, I like to not show vulnerability. So I love being like, oh yeah, I'm doing great, or I'm fine, or whatever. But when I'm clearly not fine, you can't really lie about that and get away with it. Also, I just feel like a lot of my favorite people, I'm either not able to speak to at the moment, or I'm not physically able to see because I'm ill. And it's not that I'm not meeting up with people. I'm trying to do it more actually because it's better for my mental health. But you know, it is hard. Yeah, it's hard for me. I don't like being this open, this vulnerable. So it's hard for me to see my friends when I know they're gonna know that I'm not doing well. Also, yeah, just every time I see my friends or speak to people or make videos, I don't want to be like, like, oh, she's not well again, or oh, she's complaining again. Because like I said, that's not the person I am. That's not the person I want to be. I want to be vulnerable. I want to be more vulnerable and communicate better. That's definitely an issue I have, but I don't. I want to be honest, which requires vulnerability and talking about things I don't want to talk about, and complaining and talking about things that upset me. But at the same time, I don't. I don't want that to be all I am. I don't want this kind of grief, I guess, to take over me. Especially like grief in other aspects of my life. I like to grieve in like when I'm alone. For example, death. I will act normal in front of other people, but then when I'm alone in my room, then I would get upset about it. That sort of thing. But with physical illness, if you're in pain and you're hurting, it's very obvious and you can't hide it and you can't lie about it, and you can try to, act like it's fine, but it's clearly not. So part of me is like, maybe this is helping me open up about my mental health and the other issues in my life, but at the same time, it's sort of making my mental health worse. So I don't know if this is making any sense. But yeah, this is literally all I've talked about today in this video. If you relate to this, I would love to, know what makes you feel better, or, hear how you're feeling and what's going on in your life. I feel like, not that this is a hard thing to grasp, but I feel like the people who really understand this will get this, and then the other people will be like, oh, this girl's complaining. So, yeah. This feels a little more sensitive than usual, a little more vulnerable, but maybe that's what I need right now. And trust, the next episode of Girl on the Microphone is going to be a lot more positive, a lot more interesting. I'm going to think of some topics that I really love and care about, or just some good things going on in my life, because I did mention this in the last episode and this one. So, I don't want to be fake, but I want to talk about things that make me happy, because that will make me happy. And yeah, I love sharing the things I care about. So that is, I guess, a form of self-care for me, to talk about the things I care about and, share it to the world. So, that's sort of my big mission in life. Not to sound cheesy, but I love telling people my interests and trying to show them the love that I feel for these things, But yeah, so that's today's episode of Girl on the Microphone. Hopefully you enjoyed this. And like I said, next episode is going to be very different. I think I'm going to think of some topics to talk about and all that. So, have, I guess, more of a structured, I still want it to feel very honest and very real, but maybe have a few ideas planned. So I'm talking about more than one topic. But yeah, so hopefully you enjoy this. And I will see you in the next one.